March 6th, 1998. The weekend was led by the 12th straight hit number one of Titanic, as well as the acts from U.S. Marshals. However, outside the top five, there was a film that, while not being the biggest hit initially, financially or critically, it over time became something of a pop culture phenomenon in its own right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a video celebrating 25 years of Big Lebowski. I may have covered this film before, however, given the circumstances, I think it's definitely an ample time to revisit, as I have done many times in the last video a while ago. So, let's begin. Though not the first time I've addressed this film, nor the first time I've seen it since I was 16, I've seen it many more times since then. I always find more and more things to appreciate about it, especially after all this time. One thing I noticed is how well Roger Deakins' cinematography conveys his information visually, that pays off later, and how dialogue can be very subtle and foreshadow things even very early on in the film. Everything from Thomas Pynchon's work to even real life people like Jeff Dowd have influenced his story and characters, understandably so. Even though this film initially garnered a relatively mixed reception at the time, and since it got an evaluation and seen as one of the Clay brothers' best films for the Coens, even the positive reviews at the time, initially said, well, this is good, but not quite their best work. That has very much changed, and as mentioned, the film only made a modest amount of money, only just barely enough to make it back its $15 million budget, but not nearly to be considered a hit. It really took off at home, being shown on TV as well as on DVD and video, which is when I remember seeing it first when I was 16, and it still remains one of the most quotable films I've ever seen, many memorable parts. Mine, after all these years, is still the Garden Ball sequence. On top of how it was set up visually with many things in Mullet's art studio, you know it's gonna be a good dream when it has its own title card and credit sequence. And also has one of my favorite anecdotes for production as well, on top of the digital compositing, with the dude going between the Corinne's legs. It turns out that there was disagreement about how they were going to approach the reaction when he crashed in the bowling pins. While Joel wanted him to cringe, like, oh man, this is gonna hurt. Ethan wanted him to smile, enjoy. So I decided to film it both ways and then sell it in the editing room, and sure enough, Ethan's version ended up in the finished film. And studying more details and discovering, rewatching it, and I'm probably going to be watching it yet again by the time you see this, I'm glad it's a film which has managed to overcome its initial reception and become something of a pop culture touchstone. Yeah, that about does her. Wraps it all up. And it was a pretty good story, don't you think? Made me laugh to beat the band. Parts anyway. I didn't like to have to see the Coen brothers go their separate ways personally, but I happen to know that they both have more content on the way. In their filmmaking ventures. I mean, look at me, rambling again. And that's the dude for you, taking the knees for the rest of us. And I guess I'll see you all again soon. Gonna go see if there's any more of the good sarsaparilla.